let me thank everyone for attending today. In my tenure as county judge of Nelson County, I've called very few press conferences. But I felt like this issue I'm getting ready to speak about was very important not just to me as the sitting judge and retiring judge, but important to the magistrates and the magistrates that have served in the past. I think it's important to note that back about 1999-2000, Sheriff Riley passed away. And about that same time, I was able to convince the fiscal court and the newly appointed sheriff to merge the county police force and the sheriff's department. Also about that time, it was made that the county sheriff could now attend the police academy in Richmond. And so that really started the improvement of the law enforcement around the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and in particular in Nelson County. At that time, Sheriff Newton, I converted him to the county police chief, and for a short period of time, and then we put the sheriff's department together, and it became Sheriff Newton at the time. And we've had Sheriff Newton, and we've had Sheriff Campbell, then Sheriff Mattingly, now Raymond Pinarola. At that time, I thought it was the most important thing to do is to merge the departments and create a unified law enforcement agency for the county. And I still think it's not a bad idea. But going forward, I'm going to give you a little history of our Sheriff's Department. Nelson County supports all of our agencies and departments. Law enforcement is no different. While I don't use social media, I know that the fiscal court is getting bashed simply because people do not have the facts. Today I'm going to lay out the facts, and I'm going to provide documentation of the facts. Bashing government and people without having the actual facts obviously is not just a local problem, but a national problem. We take pride in providing our employees competitive wages and benefits. Currently, 13 out of the 17 deputies that's on the fiscal court's payroll have come from other departments because of better pay or working conditions. That 76% of our officers have come from other departments to serve in Nelson County. We must be doing something right. A little history on law enforcement since I've taken over office. 1994, there were 6 academy-trained policemen in Nelson County. That included the chief of police. That's 1 for every 5,000 in population. In 2022, today, there's 25 academy-trained officers. That's including the high sheriff. There's 1 for every 1,860. And when you throw in the city police department, it's 1 in every 800 plus. And the national target that all the law enforcement try to shoot at is 1 in every 500. That's a pretty low number. Not too many departments are achieving that, especially in this day and time. In 1994, the sheriff deputies, some of you younger people probably don't remember this, but they were using their own personal cars to work from. Used their own personal cars and got paid mileage. That was in 94, January, and in June of 94, my first year in office, we convinced fiscal court to purchase vehicles for the deputy sheriffs and the sheriff. And today, Nelson County law enforcement has one of the most top-notch fleets in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and I will fight you for that one. Nelson Fiscal Court includes something that Bardstown does not do, by the way, the $2.12 state incentive pay when we figure overtime. And I've confirmed that with the city on all fronts. So we did that years ago to try to boost up the hourly rate for our deputies. In and around 2004, Nelson Fiscal Court renovated the building, now housed by the sheriff, the city of Bardstown Police, and the Central Dispatch, and that expense was about $793,000. So we've invested in our law enforcement. Nelson County last year spent a record $2.7 million this past year on law enforcement. That's $270,000 more than the previous year, or 10% more. That combined with the sheriff's budget of $2.2 million, there's nearly $5 million now being spent on law enforcement in Nelson County, on the county side, plus whatever the cities do. So I do think that the fiscal courts over the years have continued to provide adequate funds to adequately take care of the law enforcement in the county. I have prepared a report comparing our sheriff's deputies' pay to the other agencies using the years of service with Nelson County, and find that we are competitive with most regional departments. In some cases, we're even higher than some of the bigger departments. After reviewing, we found at least 4 of our deputies' wages that need attention due to the tenure served in Nelson County. And I have recommended to the court to review their wages at the next time raises are given. And those officers are Deputy Greenwell, Deputy Boyles, Deputy Wells, and Deputy Watts. They're a little out of line compared to what the tenure of the cities and the other cities that we've compared. I was fortunate enough to get the comparison of Global Metro. Actually, the city of Bardstown did a study using about 8 departments, and they were able to share that with us. So we plugged our guys in to the tenure that other departments are giving them. Other than, now Bardstown does give the officers, if you've been 10 years with another department, they'll bring you in at 10 years, but if you're retired. But they don't have to pay retirement or insurance, so they've got a lot of funds to be able to do that. Nelson Fiscal Court stands by our commitment to our law enforcement, and thank you for your service to the county, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I know Fiscal Court supports the law enforcement agency, and we're just getting tired of being bashed, and that's why I wanted to call this press conference, and I thank you so much. There are